Ade, the show is about telling our stories and trying to paint a positive picture. That we from minority, we say the pace. Not just negative things about us. You understand? So, and at Askdpros, we believe there's a story. We all have our story, and each story is unique. So Ade, I'm gonna pass it over to you. What's your story?
Yeah, I'll tell you my story in a little bit, but first of all, I want to say a big thank you to Askdpros for giving me this opportunity. Because when I got the call, you explained the vision to me, and I totally keyed into it. And I thought, man, this is a really good thing. It's a wonderful platform. I am so happy and elated to be part of it. So, back to your question.
Thank you, Ade. Thanks for that.
It's honestly, it's a mad vibe. I'm really, really feeling it. I'm sure a lot of people out there are feeling it as well. My story, I don't even know where to start.
I understand. People are always like, oh, my story, because the story can be a very big story, but you could just start, just start your story.
I'm a brand manager, marketer by day, and but then that's like my day job. That's my 9 to 5. That's what I enjoy doing. But apart from that, I'm also passionate about music, and I've been passionate about music for longer than I can remember. So apart from doing that, I do the DJ thing on the side. I also run events, concerts, and I work with a lot of artists as well when it comes to brand management and distributing their.
So Ade, where did you grow from? Where did you start from?
Yeah, so now you're taking us way back. Yeah.
Way back.
I knew we were going to get to that. So where did I start from? I was born and raised in Nigeria. I lived in Nigeria for like many years. Then I moved to the UK for when I was young. I moved for a couple of years. Stayed for about 5-6 years. Then I moved back. Then did my secondary school uni in Nigeria. Then I came back to the UK. What 11-12 years ago? My math is failing me now. Somewhere along the line. But I came back to do my masters.
Okay, good.
I did a masters in engineering, business management.
Okay.
And since then I've been here. Started working. The grind.
So what's the whole thing with this music thing and all that? What's the thing with music? How did music come into your path?
That's a very good question. As in music has always been a part of me. So even when I was a youngster, I was in the choir.
Okay.
As you can tell, I don't have like the best singing voice, but then obviously I learned quite quickly that singing was not my thing.
Okay.
But music was still my thing. I played instruments and all of that, and I ran away from it for a while, but eventually music just found me, because if music is in you, it's something I'm really passionate about. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something that gives me like an adrenaline rush, a real buzz. So I just couldn't. I tried to ignore it for a while, but I just couldn't, So I found myself, even though I was in like a professional field, I never stopped doing music. And the good thing about what I do is that it's all interlinked anyway. Music is life. That's what I see it. Music is like the bedrock of everything, because music can change your mood. It can set the mood. It can make you happy. It can make you sad, depending on the kind of music. There's a lot of power in music, and I get a lot of inspiration from listening to genres that I like or artists that I'm into, and I listen to all sorts. As in,
so what's your favorite vibe right now?
Do you know what? I knew I was just setting you up for that question. I knew that was coming, and the truth is, because I'm a music person, I listen to loads of music. As in, listen to all sorts genres that you can't even imagine. Yeah, obviously I like Afrobeat because that's what I'm pushing.
That's your bedrock, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm pushing and promoting right now. And I've done Afrobeat for a lot, I can remember. But I listen to everything. I listen to jazz. I listen to rock music. I listen to classical music. Music is music, But Afrobeat, there's something about Afrobeat that.
Let's go to your day job, because I want to like kind of like interested in your day job and what you do in your day job, in your day to day 9 to 5 to 9 to 5. So what's your day job like?
My day job is probably similar to other people, but my day job is quite intense. What I do is I'm a marketer and I build brands. So I work with large corporates to build.
Good to hear that.
Their brand.
Also, moving from that, how do you plug that with music?
It's yes and no. There's a connection in the sense that it's all kind of arty, so it's I try to separate my work from my passion work. It's also work, but because for me, I don't really see DJing music as work. It's because I just enjoy doing it, But it is actually work.
Yeah, it's something that just comes natural.
Yeah, it's something that comes naturally, and things that come naturally to you, that you really enjoy doing it, you won't even really see it as a chore. You're just doing stuff, and you're touching people's lives, and people are just having.
What were the difficulties that you faced trying to get into the banking environment? Doing branding. What was difficult in that environment?
The journey, was it difficult? Yeah, to a certain extent, because I think when you come to a new country, you need to kind of adjust in the sense that understand the culture, but I think I was a bit fortunate because I had lived here before, so it wasn't. It was almost seamless, but at the same time, there's certain things you need to learn, and in some cases unlearn, because they're saying things, even when it comes to getting interviews. Back then, you knock on doors several times, and sometimes doors do not open. But I think the message, or what I want to get across to anybody listening, is don't be discouraged by that. Just keep on knocking. The right opportunity would come along, as long as you keep on developing yourself, learning new things, and you have the right attitude. So yeah, there have early on there has been challenges, but then you just have to be resilient, improve, just keep on getting new skills,
keep on pushing,
keep on pushing, and it will happen. Now, when it happens, I think for me, I think the first job is the hardest. Once you get the first job and you hear the system, then you can actually prove your worth, and it becomes easier to move on from there. So the first one might always be the trickiest, but then once you've done that, then
okay. For the benefit of people that are listening, someone is listening and said, I want to be in the branding industry, I like what this guy is doing and all that, what would be your blueprint process for them to get to where you are right now?
This kind of question, there's no one size fits all. For my journey is my journey. I'm happy to explain my journey and how I did it. But then again, I think we should just get out there that there's different ways. There's different journeys of people, but they all it's all common. One thing is set your mind to it, position yourself for it, and in terms of positioning yourself, you need to have the right skills. And another thing that is quite important, which people might not realize, is the power of relationships. It's good to build relationships with people. Network. Keep networking. Some people say your network is your network. I think there's a certain element of truth in that. So you never know when those relationships are going to come good. So building relationships is not necessarily because you want something in return. It's just open and honest and just being good to other people. It might come good, it might not, but then power of relationships, I've realized not only in the work life, but also in the business line as well. The way you treat people goes a long way. Then get educated, educated, and education comes in like different forms. You know, there's the formal education, there's the informal education, but as long as you're willing to learn more and continuously improve, don't be stagnant. You know, be inquisitive, learn more. If you want to get into an industry, find out about that industry, find out what the requirements are for getting into the industry. If it's qualifications you need, go get those qualifications. If it's skills you need, you might not have those skills already. Volunteer for some apprenticeships or volunteer for some internships and to get those skills, because at the end of the day, if anybody's going to employ you, what they really want is two things they want to know from my experience. They want to know, one, what do you bring to the table?
Yes.
And two, which is really important, so apart from your skills, how do you fit into a team? So that's where the relationship angle that I was talking about comes in, because at the end of the day, there's a certain dynamic when it comes to like teams, and there is energies.
I think it has to do with emotional intelligence, doesn't it?
Yeah, you my friend, as a scholar. That is the exact word, emotional intelligence.
You know, so moving on from the brand manager, you know, to the DJ guy. What's DJ Bugzy Lee's story? Tell us your story.
Okay, now I feel like two different people, so maybe I should just change my voice.
No.
Yeah. No, I'm joking, man. I'm just joking, yeah. DJ Bugzy Lee is a brand, it's me as well, but like I said earlier on, music is something that I'm passionate about, you know, that I really enjoy doing. So the DJ thing came about, close to 20 years ago. So I used to DJ at like parties, house parties.
Okay, so you started from house parties, yeah?
Yeah, I started, you know, let's even go further. I didn't start from house parties. In fact, slightly more than 20 years ago. So I think my first encounter with DJing was probably when I was in secondary school. Because we used to book DJs for school socials.
Okay.
So I really enjoyed what I was really intrigued about what the guy was doing, mixing two records together. Back then it was like 10 tables. So I walked up to him. Oh, I like this thing you're doing. Can I learn? Yes, yeah. You can come over. So I used to go to his studio at the time, really small studio back home. This is in Nigeria, you know, so we just play around for a little bit. But then did that for a couple of months, then totally forgot about it. Stopped. That now was just like an encounter. Then many years later, then when I was in uni, then I picked it up again. You know, I started hanging out with other older DJs. Then from there I started doing house parties. Did a few house parties. Then from house parties we started doing raves, like clubs. Then I did that for a while. Then stopped it. Then when I started working like properly, I just kind of stopped it.
Because it was taking much of your time, yeah?
Yeah, because I just thought, no, I don't need to do this. Let me concentrate on my career and everything. But like, it's something that was in me. You know, I worked for a while, but I just felt like
something kept taking you back to DJ.
Yeah, it kept on taking. Jeez, I think you've been there before. You sound like you've been there before. Because that's exactly what happened. I kept on going back to it. So then rather than playing now, I'll be playing, and so I got all the equipment all over again. Then playing at home. Then from there, then again when I picked it up properly again, you know, it was when I was doing my masters.
Okay.
And then you know, guys didn't have extra money, so we would organize raves, house parties, DJ at friends' house parties. In fact, that night I wasn't even getting money out of it. It was like
it was just fun for you then.
Yeah, it was just fun. It was fun. And from there, people just offer you like a toolkit and stuff like that. But I just kept doing it, and the brand just kept on growing and growing, and I've done it since then. How do you
do your shows now? Moving from the house parties and DJing for friends now, I guess you're more professional now, aren't you? So how do you do your shows now? Do you like do you like have like a manager that promotes your shows, or how do you do your shows these days?
First of all, I'm quite grateful for the position I'm in right now. It's grown like way beyond my imagination. Yeah, so most weekends, I show or the other, so it could be anything ranging from playing at a concert or a club or a birthday party or wedding, and it could be anywhere, and it could be anywhere in the world as well, so like I said, it's grown beyond my wildest beliefs, and for me it's just passion. It's just something I enjoy doing. So my weekends are like mostly taken. So weekends are gone.
So what you're telling me that I'm very lucky to have you, to hold you down this weekend here to do this interview.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. This weekend is honestly the first weekend I've taken off this year, and it was a conscious effort because I thought, one needs to recharge, so I didn't take any bookings or get involved in anything.
I sort of like have few like a little bit DJ skills, because I also like to mix sometimes, because I've got like this turntable app on my iPad. I'm trying to just play a bit with mixing, like for someone like me that got that interest in music and probably want to go further with it, just for family and friends, what would you advise me on how to get better, like to better my skills in DJing?
Practice. There's no magic bullet. You don't become a DJ or a good DJ or a very good DJ in a day. You need to practice. It's easy. I'll say it's easier now than it used to be when guys first started out. Because now you got technology, so they're saying things that are a bit easier to do. But at the same time, you need to understand the basics of. So it's pretty much practice. Then if you really want to get into it, then you start getting your equipment bit by bit and practice. And I think anybody can DJ as long as you like music and you enjoy music. Anybody can do it, and practice. That's what it is.
Good, Addy. Thanks for that. So what's your biggest crowd you've played for? Like artists, because I know you've kind of like promoted some few artists, Nigerian artists, if I may say, so what's the biggest artist you've ever played for? You played with, like, on the show.
It's a difficult one, because
I'm
going to give you a diplomatic answer, and the diplomatic answer is I've played with a lot of big artists, because I think when you start saying biggest, then you're starting to put artists on the scale. And because I work with a lot of artists, I don't want to say this person is bigger than this person. So I can give you a few examples. I've done stuff with Davido, I've done stuff with Afro, I've done stuff with Burna Boy, I've done stuff with Tiwa Savage.
Good.
I've done stuff with Skepta. I've done a variety of different things, and all of this thing is just opportunities coming. And I've played for massive big crowds,
massive events,
festivals, stadium, different. It's been alright.
It's good. So, if anyone wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
The best way for you to get in touch with me, the quickest way is social media. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, DJ Bugzy Lee. Find me on Instagram, Bugzy_. Snapchat. I keep that for now. I won't tell you about my Snapchat because there's a lot of interesting things on Snapchat. Yeah.
Okay, good. DJ Bugzy Lee, Ade, it's been nice. It's nice speaking to you, and I really want to thank you for this opportunity. I'm grateful for it, and I hope someday you come back to the show. Askdpros will be here again, to interview you. And for those of you that want to follow us on Instagram, it's Askdpros on Instagram. We're also on Facebook, Askdpros. And so Bugzy, what's your last word to the listeners? Your last word of inspiration. It could be encouragement to them. like what the show is about, you know, trying to inspire and motivate people out there, you know, what would be your last word to them?
Off the top of my head, I'm just going to say one word, and that's one thing that's stuck with me for as long as I can remember. Passion. You know, if you're passionate about anything, it energizes you. It gives you a drive to achieve stuff. You know, so guys, whatever you want to do, be passionate about it. If it's the right thing to do, then it'll happen. You can do anything. You can achieve anything, and that's what I'd like to pass on to everyone.
That's good. Thanks again, DJ Bugzy Lee.
Thank you.
You know, thanks Ade for coming on the show. You know, and hopefully we'll do this again. Thanks.
Definitely, it's been a pleasure. I'd love to do it anytime. Just holla.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks. Yeah. Bye.